hoes are always dropping out to do media and content creation. Now, to be fair, so did I. Third wave feminism and female empowerment has lied to women by telling them that college is the answer to all of their problems. Go to school and get a degree. It will get you that career that will make you happy and fulfill you for a lifetime. Too many women fall for this and spend their prime years putting themselves in debt's way. Way too much debt. Many modern women go to college, but many don't finish. So what happens when these women go and drop out? Let's find out.
Time on why I dropped out of school.
So again, she's a 6, I'd say. 5. The lad. You know what's interesting? I can't say the fake stuff doesn't work, but it works for a second, and then you look closer, and you're like, what the hell is that? You know what I mean? Like, it's like at a glance, so cute, and then you're like, what are those lashes, you know? Like, for a glance, you're like, oh, that's how it goes.
Senior year of college. So upon graduating high school, I graduated high school in 2018, and my mom basically told me before I graduated, like, you don't have to go to college, but you're going to have to get a job. And at the time, I was working at McDonald's, and I just didn't see myself working at McDonald's, paying bills, all that full time. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go to college. So I applied to all out-of-state colleges because I wanted to leave the state regardless. And I ended up getting into most of the colleges that I applied to, but I'm not going to lie, I still was kind of scared, like, to just venture out on my own. And so my best friend was going to a college, so I was like, okay, I'm going to follow you, and I with it. But disclaimer,
best friend goes to college, we go to the same college. Best friend gets a divorce, I got bad news for you fellas. I got bad news for you. You're next.
I would not recommend people to do that. Yes, we still are best friends, but I know a lot of people who friendship ended because of that, so I don't recommend to do that. Back on track. So we ended up going to college. In my senior year of high school, right before I graduated, I took a lash class. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna learn how to do lashes. And you know, at the time, the dorm I was gonna be living in was with 800 other girls. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, you're gonna get in all this practice doing all these girl lashes, and I was gonna charge really, really low. And then when I got good, skyrocket my prices, kind of like the monopoly effect. And I was like, by my sophomore year, I should have enough.
Oh, those are supposed to be good lashes? Oh no. Maybe you should have stayed in school.
Money to have at least a suite and, like, you know, have my own place to do lashes out of. And then once I leave college, my sophomore year,
they're just too long. I don't even hate lashes all the time, but that's too long.
Nobody would really care because I've only been there for 2 years, and I could show people I'm already making all this money from lashing. In my mind, it was like the perfect idea. So, i.e., I never planned on really graduating. And so my freshman year come, and I'm really not into it too much. I guess it wasn't really what I thought it was going to be. So I'm like, okay,
Translation, I had to do hard things. I didn't want to do the hard things. I had to study, show up to class, do a good job. That was too hard.
I want to do something in that field. So I decided to take a brow class. So I took a bus ride like 2 hours away in a different city, learn how to wax and tint brows. And so I kind of got into that. So we're going into my sophomore year. I'm kind of trying to get into that, whatever. And so I'm kind of telling myself, you know what? You might as well graduate. Like, you're already, you know what I'm saying? You're already into it. You might as well graduate. So I started doing brows, and it just, I don't know if it wasn't for me or I just didn't take it seriously, but I just couldn't get into it. And then, boom, COVID hits. So COVID hits, and obviously everything is shut down. I had to go back home. I had to move out of my dorm, all that. And it really was just me doing nothing in the house. Like, I tried creating like the little strip lashes and stuff like that. I just couldn't get into it. And like many people, I was kind of like going through a depression. It was just a lot of stuff going on. So when we got back to...
Men never say what they have going on. Do you know what I mean? Like, if they say I did a bad job, they just say, yeah, I didn't do the job. They never say, oh, it was this, and this. But women, it's always with like a but, right? But I was depressed. Da, da, da. Men are depressed all the time, but they just don't really use it as like an excuse, right? Not all, YouTube.
To school, they did it hybrid. So like most of my classes were online, and I had got an apartment back where I lived, where I went to college. And during that time period, it just was feeling really aimless to me. Like, I really was asking myself, why am I at college? Like, why am I here? Like, I thought about it. Best case scenario, right? If I was to get a job doing exactly what I went to school for, which was strategic communications, which is just public relations, and I got the best job and the best field doing that, did I really want to do it? Like, I don't know. It was just a lot of asking myself, and this video is about to end, so tell me if you guys want a part 2.
As most of you know, I have been fighting on the front lines of the simp epidemic for years, but I need to tell you about a quiet weapon being ratcheted up against men that is rarely talked about. It's not just the relentless anti-masculinity propaganda and OnlyFans hoes causing the societal issues that we discuss on this show. Did you know that the average city's tap water contains trace pharmaceuticals and endocrine disruptors? This often includes estrogen from birth control. The average adult consumes a credit card worth of plastic every single week. That's 5 grams of plastic a week on average. So it's no wonder that the average male's testosterone is half of what the average was 50 years ago. Testosterone levels decline 1% a year, and without a course correction, we are headed towards extinction. No matter how based you are, you need to be naturally boosting your testosterone. My friends at Chalk, CHOQ.com, are on a mission to save mankind from extinction by boosting your vitality. Chalk's Male Vitality Stack contains premium and potent herbs clinically studied to naturally boost your testosterone levels, sperm count, and overall vitality. Just one of the many ingredients in the Male Vitality Stack was studied in double-blind human clinical trials to boost total testosterone 20% in 90 days. When you boost your testosterone, you'll have more mental clarity, you're more capable of making decisions and taking risks. Having high testosterone will also affect your pheromones, so women will find you more attractive subconsciously. Get the Chalk Male Vitality Stack right now on chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. Use my name Pearl as your coupon code and you'll get 25% off site-wide on chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. My name Pearl is the discount code. We got another woman who dropped out. What would you guys rate her? I'm going to say 6. She's cute, 6.
Biggest dilemmas ever is whether or not
she's got long hair. It almost makes her 7, but not really. You gotta, you know what? Hair and big boobs, I always have to like crop out to make sure, because that it does blind you a little bit. But no, we rate harsh on this channel. We do not give mids 8+ attention.
I should go back to school. I was debating between 1 semester off to pursue my business and content creation or go back and study computers.
Yeah, that's always, it's so, you know, this is so hypocritical. This has got to be the most hypocritical thing I've ever said. But hoes are always dropping out to do media and content creation. Now, to be fair, so did I. But not everyone can be a winner, right? And, you know, just because it worked out for me, I don't recommend it for most women. If you're a doctor and you have the choice between doctor and content creation, be a doctor, okay? This is not a stable field. AI might wipe us all out. I don't know where it's going. And if it does, you know, I'm unemployable, right? So, you know, it'll be women with like really hard degrees like computer science, but they always pick TikTok. Can't even be YouTube. It's always TikTok.
Computer science, like I was going to enter the corporate world, all that. The most clarifying conversation I had was with one of my closest friends and classmates. He said, "You are more likely to regret coming back than regret leaving." That line stuck with me because he was absolutely right. I imagined every scenario for whether or not my business did well, whether or not it did horribly, and I compared what my life would look like then with what my life would look like if I went back to school. And in no situation would I regret this more than this, even if I failed. One of my biggest dilemmas.
Let's see if I think she's going to make it. Sometimes they do make it. Let's see if I think she's got what it takes. So what is she selling? All right, okay, so creator playbook. She might do okay. What does she pay for that? Oh, I have to give my email. Okay, fine. You're not getting it, but that's not bad. Free, a strategy call. Okay. A mini doc about my story.
I took a gap year from school after my freshman year to pursue content creation and consulting.
She makes 6 figures. But again, we got to go right now. So I got to, you know, and I have to say, because I was on TikTok when people were making stupid money, okay? Now, I wasn't myself making it. I did okay on TikTok, but I knew people that were making 6-figure brand deals. So they had to do one post and they would get 100K, right? So I know what that's like. And that is, but a lot of them are making nothing now, I'll just say. Do I think she's got the long term? Okay, now again, they say 6 figures. Is that profit or revenue? Those are very different numbers. But okay, so it's going well for her now.
Let's expose some content creation myths. You don't need
2022. She might make it, to be honest. A mini doc. I was a guest on this podcast. Create your own store, track your finance. Okay, at least she's given like it's interesting because what women do is they become experts at things as they're online and it's their journey. Where men have to be an expert and then they build a brand, which by the way, if you are a smart, intelligent man that wants to be on YouTube, DM me on Twitter, Pearly Things with a Z. My last client has gotten 100,000 subscribers in a year. I've done that twice. So if you guys are, you can email me just pearlythings@gmail.com. Put in the subject, I want to start a YouTube channel, I'll say. I'm going to have a landing page at some point. I just don't have it yet. But it's interesting, again, the men have to be an expert and then they can start a YouTube channel where pretty women can become experts as they're going. Now, this might turn out okay for her. Let's see how her last video.
So it has come to my attention that you don't think your life is interesting.
I don't think our
3,000
attention
views.
spans are actually decreasing, but I do think
Okay,
our
let's see. 12,000, 162,000, 20,000. Okay. All right, well, I don't think in 5 years she'll be employed, but I think she'll have a good run.
Two conversations convinced me to take a semester off of school. I already covered the first one, but the second one happened in a random apartment in San Francisco, hanging out with a ton of, tech interns. And someone asked the question, if money didn't matter, if money was taken care of, what would you do with your life? I don't remember all the answers, but one person said they would sell and design sneakers. Another person said they would direct movies.
Women, it's always TikTok.
Job once they...
It's always TikTok. Women, it's 100% always going to be TikTok.
Graduated. The sentiment around the room was pretty much, I'm going to work this job and save up and then one day pursue my dream. Now, I was sitting over here contemplating whether or not to take off my next semester of school to pursue my content creation and my business and social media, or go back to school and study computer science and then get myself an internship in the tech space.
I won't lie, guys. I don't think she's the worst one. And I'll tell you why I actually don't think she's going to be. I've covered a lot of women that quit for TikTok. From what I've seen, all of her stuff is still going to make her hireable later. Right? So it's how to grow on social media, Like, from what I've seen, none of it's her twerking, doing stupid TikTok stuff, whatever. It doesn't seem to be too political, right? She didn't go down that rabbit hole. And it's a semester off. She might be okay. She seems all right.
And during that conversation, I thought to myself, I have an opportunity, or at least the guts to take an opportunity to skip over the years of waiting for that security and waiting for the right time to then pursue the creative passions that I've always had. So if I say no now, what's to say I will ever try?
Yeah. Again, now she's trying to make herself the hero in the story, whatever. Let's see what else she's got. Learn from other industries, how America goes viral. Becoming the niche down, life update. I spent years. Sometimes all you have to do is show up. How often is she posting?
So it has come to my attention.
So 4 days ago.
I don't think our attention. So I treat TikTok and Instagram very differently. Context, I started creating content on TikTok.
Okay, TikTok. All right, so I give her 50-50. Now let's see this girl.
Okay. I guess I'm just going to start a series because this needs to be said. But
Oh no, if she quit for TikTok. The other girl had more of like a girl next door likability, like in casting. This girl, like her voice, I'm not really.
I am a senior at Indiana University and I studied biology and I've been on the pre-med path for the past 3 years, and this summer I took my MCAT, did well, and ultimately decided to not apply to med school. And now I am in that phase where figuring out what to do with my life because I have no idea what I want to do post-grad, but I know to not go to med school right now. So yeah. But since I made the decision, I've been doing a bunch of networking, and for once, I actually have so much free time that I don't know what to do with myself, and I don't know what to do with my life.
I wonder if she'll think about getting married. Maybe, All right, let's see. Quitting pre-med. I hope her backup plan isn't TikTok. She doesn't have what it takes. She's in Chicago. But, she could do well in the dating market. Who would I set her up with if I was trying to like match make? What kind of guys would be into a former pre-med? It'd be a guy that values, I know it's looks, but she's cute enough. Most men would. It would have to be a guy that values intelligence. Is she Indian? I feel like she would do well with Indian guys.
There's this quote that I think about often.
Like with the American, I'd set her up with like a guy in tech. That's what I would do. I'd set her up with the tech guys. I think that would be a good fit for her because she's kind of chill. All right. I don't think social media. The other girl has a better shot.
What is up, you guys? Get
All
ready.
right, now her. I like her vocal tonality. That's not bad. I don't know if she has the right look. So if I'm casting for a female social media influencer, she has to be cute enough to get male attention, right? She can't be below 5. And she has to be not too pretty where she's relatable enough to women, right? Where women, now TikTok is mostly female apps. I'm assuming she's selling to women. I don't get the it factor with her, but this is just first glance.
With me for work while I tell you why I dropped out of college. Okay, so I guess we should start off with a little background.
Like I'm bored. Do you know what I mean? Like you have to. I'm just not drawn into this girl.
Because
so if she quit to be a TikToker, I got bad news.
I feel like a lot of people don't know this about me. Which I feel like I've expressed it a lot and shared about like my whole journey with college on my YouTube channel. So if you were interested, I'd recommend checking that out because being a first generation Latina, going to school was really important for me. Okay, so I graduated high school back in 2019, and then I went right into a 4-year university, which I feel like that was kind of like my mistake I made. But anyways, I went to Cal State San Marcos and I absolutely loved it. The campus was close enough to home where I was just a commuter, and also I absolutely loved like all my classes, and I went in as a business major, so the first 2 years
I'm still bored. It could get better. I don't know.
I took like general education classes, and then it wasn't until about like it was going to be
all these unnecessary details. Why did you quit? Like, could we just
third year and I was going to be a junior is when the classes started being a lot more harder because I was getting ready to apply to be into the business program because I wanted to do more of the management and marketing side. So then you have to apply to get into like the business program, if that makes sense. Right around my second semester of sophomore year of college, we entered the pandemic, which obviously changed so many things for everyone. But for me personally, it actually helped me academically because I already at that point was failing 2 to 3 classes that I already.
Yeah, TikTok's not going to be for her. Now, you don't have to be crazy intelligent to do TikTok or YouTube and stuff. But you do have to be smarter than the other YouTubers. And if you're failing out of a business degree, like that's not a super hard degree. Like I'm not going to, like I would almost think that music theory is more difficult than a business. I was in the business program and it wasn't that hard. So hold on 1 second. 1 second. Hello? Hello? Oh, no, I'm not interested. Thank you. I hate it when I think someone else is calling. Yeah. Okay, hold on. I'll finish this. Make sure to edit this out. Okay. All right, let's go back.
I already knew I had to make up. And I also started to become really lazy, and I honestly stopped showing up to my classes because I felt like...
Oh, she's not gonna. Please, did you quit to be a waitress? Please don't quit for TikTok.
What was the point if I was already failing? Or I knew like this test that I had, I was gonna fail, which is a terrible mindset to have. But at that point, I was like, I'm so done. I don't even know why I'm here, and I'm wasting everyone's time and money at this point. But I stayed going to college because I knew like that I had to. I felt like I had no other choice. At that time of going to college, I was obviously still working at Chick-fil-A. I was working there for like, I think 2.5 years at that point. And I was still working like a pretty heavy schedule. I pretty much get home from like a full 8-hour shift, do homework, wake up, go to school. Sometimes I would leave school early to make it back to my shift on time. And it was just becoming like too much, and I felt like I had to choose between one or the other. Again, terrible mindset, because all those things could have been prevented. But I also love being financially independent. And going back to where I was even starting with this whole conversation.
Yeah, okay. Can we get...
Then the pandemic hit, and I started doing so much better in school. I was able to go at my own pace, or able to like go back and watch all of like...
Translation. I could cheat. Everything was online, and I could cheat my way through college.
Recorded lectures, and I was basically able just doing things on my own time. And if I had questions, I could just go back and look. I was in class, I felt like I couldn't really ask the professor questions until after class. Look like office hours with them, and I didn't really have the time for that. So I always felt like I was missing out on opportunities when I needed help. Ended up finishing my sophomore year of college with all B's and 1 A. That was the first time in my whole college period.
Why did you quit?
That I did not fail a single class. I was fast forward to junior year about to start, and at that time protocols have completely changed. Masks were mandatory, but you were able to go back in person, and all the classes that I needed were no longer offered online, which meant I had to go back to school. That gave me so much anxiety because I was pretty much scared that if I were to go back to in-person school, that I was just going to start failing again, and then the cycle repeats itself. And then that is when I decided to make the best decision of my life for me, which was to drop out of college. Ever since I dropped out of college, I was able to focus on my career within Chick-fil-A.
Okay, that's not a bad... Okay, thank God. Thank God, it's a Chick-fil-A career and not a YouTuber. Yeah, and I've heard actually Chick-fil-A has... I don't know, but I've heard they treat their employees well, like long-term, so...
And literally grow tremendously. I went from being an operational team member to social media lead to now I am social media catering marketing lead. I was able to focus on my job, start saving up a lot of money, and just...
What does that mean, lead? Is she's not a representative for them, is she?
Within such a great business. I've also been able to get my YouTube channel almost to 10,000 subscribers. I have no management team. I do it all.
Yeah, okay, 10K is not hard as a girl. Let me see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll eat my words. All right, so what do we got here? Do I think she has... Because remember, she's under 25, right? When you're under 25 as a girl, you can just be a YouTuber overnight. Let's see.
I have a huge grocery haul from Trader Joe's.
Grocery haul, typical.
So sorry I'm late. Traffic was...
I just wanna go all night. I just wanna go insane.
Yeah, okay, girl stuff. I don't really see her, because the thing is, she's doing lifestyle content, and you can make money on that short term, but it's so competitive, right? The other girl, the first one, I see having more of a shot, because she went the business route. She's like, I'm a girl, I'm going to do consulting on social media. Now, do I think she could do this as a hobby and make money? Let's see what we got. Yeah, so vlogs. What the hell? What'd she get 10,000 subscribers with? Oh, she had 1. Yeah, and you can kind of see the YouTube channel like dying a little bit. And I'm not trying to hate, mine died a bit from my peak, right? But if you're going from this number... you're not making any money off of 256 views. And you can be a vlogger, but it's very high edited. You have to spend so much time editing, and it's just not the longest lived career that I've seen. People that have vlogs and can't translate into anything else I don't see lasting too long. But hey, I hope you do. I got no malice. I could be wrong. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think, if any of them have what it takes to make it on social media. I thought the first girl wasn't bad, actually. So let me know what you think in the comments. Like the video on your way out, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.